Okay, so here's a video for Pre-Algebra, section 6.1, work with ratios. Um, this section is primarily just about ratios. So I guess real quick before I jump into it, what is a ratio? Well, it's a comparison between two quantities by division. That's kind of the way the book compares it. The key, though, about a ratio is that it's a comparison between two like kind of objects, so feet to feet, which isn't necessarily the same units, but at least it's this. Well, that one is, but it doesn't have to be the same units. It has to be the same type of object, though. So feet to feet would be distance to distance. Um, you know, boxes to boxes, some kind of object. If you start comparing things differently, like feet to time, that's a rate. And we'll talk about that later on in the chapter. So for the first part of this, it's just ratios. So and they've got here, in the thing in the description, key concept, a comparison by division. So the way to say it is 3 to 9, 3 colon 9, 3 over 9, or same exact thing here with algebra. So first example, number 2 out of the book. Camping. 15 out of 100 campsites at a campground are reserved for campers with pets. Express this ratio as a fraction in simplest form and explain its meaning. Okay. So first thing we'll do, I like to use the fraction method, and it did say is a fraction, so we'll put 15 over 100 as our fraction. Now we have to reduce this. Both these numbers are divisible by 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3. And 100 divided by 5 is 20. Okay. So that's our simplest ratio, 3 out of 20. Now the question is, what does that mean? Well, what that means for us is if we took 20 campsites, okay, of 20 campsites, 3 are reserved for pet owners. Okay. So if you had 20 that you just picked at random, you should have 3 of them that would be for pet owners. Okay. Now the next example, number 3, is also out of the textbook. It says express the ratio of 15 inches to 1 foot as a fraction in simplest form. Now the key to doing these with the units is to always pick the one that's the bigger unit and break it down to the smaller unit. So for instance, a foot is bigger than an inch, so we're going to convert feet to inches. Okay. So 1 foot is 12 inches. So we luck out. We can just actually literally replace 1 foot with 12 inches. So 15 inches to 12 inches. And notice that, again, same style of unit here, distance to distance. And in fact, this one is actually inches to inches. We can cancel it off now. 15 over 12, they're both divisible by 3. This is 5 over 4. And that's the simplest fraction. It's a 5 to 4 ratio. Another one we did like this in the section involved gallons and quarts. This one is one people generally aren't quite as familiar with. We don't really use quarts as much to measure things. But gallons is the larger of the two, and there are 4 quarts in 1 gallon. Now, to convert this 4 gallons to quarts, how I always do it is I write it right underneath it, and I say to myself, well, what did I multiply 1 gallon by to get 4 gallons? Multiply by 4. So I have to multiply this by 4 as well. So it's 16 quarts. So now I have 18 quarts to 16 quarts. That reduces to 9 over 8. Oh, and I didn't say this to begin with, but this actually is problem number 20 from the homework for tonight. Okay, so for 20, you should have had 9 over 8. And then 24, last one we'll look at for this, also from the textbook homework. Phones. So a cell phone store displayed the phone at the right on a poster. And this is 24 from the textbook. The length of the phone on the poster is 3 feet 4 inches. Write a ratio comparing the length of the actual phone to the length of the cell phone and the poster as a fraction in simplest form. So the first thing we have to sort out here is actually what they're wanting us to do, and that is to write a ratio comparing the length of the actual phone to this poster. So it's real, and then when it's a fraction, over poster. Now the next problem we have is this. The real phone right here is in inches. So that's 4 inches. The poster is in feet and inches. So I have to convert it to the same unit, which means I need to convert 3 feet to inches and then just throw 4 more on there. So 3 feet, if you don't know this, is 12 inches in a foot. So times 3 is 36 inches. And then we have 36 inches that we're going to add 4 more onto. So 40 inches. So the poster is actually 40 inches in length. So 4 inches to 40 inches. Now I can reduce that. It's 1 to 10 as our ratio. And what that really means for us then is the phone is 1/10 the size of the poster, because it's 1 versus 10. Or the poster is 10 times the size of the phone. So there are just a few examples from section 6.1 to kind of help you out. And again, a couple of them are straight from the homework assignment.